Hello, hello. Today's introduction of the cloud computing. I'm sharing some putting regarding some introduction to cloud computing because the role of the cloud computing in computer science is really important. So, what is the introduction of the cloud computing? Like cloud computing means like we are storing our data virtually, and that is the good possibility by the cloud computing where we are storing data and working on online things and using the internet. So this is beneficial for us. So introduction is that like this white paper is the introduction to terms like characteristics and services associated with internet-based computing, commonly refers to as cloud computing. So characteristics such as infrastructure, provisioning, network access, and managed metering are presented. The primary business services model is being developed, such as software platform and infrastructure as a service, and common development and model employed by service provider and users to use and maintain the cloud services, such as the private, public, community, and hybrid clouds are discussed. Okay. So about the things which is given to us, like such as a platform infrastructure, that is a deployed business cloud related types of the cloud computing, and the service related maintainable related services are provided by the cloud computing, that is your private, public, community, and hybrid. Okay, so also introduce are the benefit and challenges associated with the cloud computing, and for those seeking to use communication services in the cloud, briefly presented are different way of determining the interfaces needed to use these communication services. Firstly, what is the cloud computing? So terms cloud as a used in by people like peer to have its origin in network diagram that represent the internet or various part of it, and systematic cloud. Semantic clouds, like cloud computing was coined for what happened when application and service are moved into the internet cloud. And cloud computing is not something that suddenly appeared overnight. In some form, it may trace back to a time when computer systems remotely time shared computing resources and applications. More, more currently, though, cloud computing refers to the many different type of services and application being delivered in the internet cloud, and the fact that in many cases the devices used to access these services and applications do not require any special application. So many companies are delivering services from the cloud. Some things related to your Google, Microsoft, and Salesforce.com. So you aware about the Google has a some cloud platform to providing access to storing some data on the and working on the internet. So has a private cloud that is used for delivering Google Docs and many other services to use it, including email access, document application, text translations, map and web analytics, and much more. Microsoft has a Office 6 365 and online services that allow for content and business intelligence tools to be moved into the cloud. And Microsoft currently makes its Office application available in a cloud. Salesforce.com is run its application site for its customers in cloud, and its Force.com and VMforce.com product provide developer with platform to build customized cloud services. But what is cloud computing? The following section: not cloud and cloud computing characteristics, services model, deployment models, benefits and challenges. So what is the characteristics of the cloud computing? So shared infrastructure, firstly users and virtualized software models. enabling the sharing of physical services, storage, and networking capabilities. The cloud infrastructure, regardless of deployment model, seeks to make the most of the available infrastructure across a number of users. Dynamic provisioning means allow for the provision of services based on the current demand requirement. This is done automatically using software automation, enabling the expansion and contraction of service capability as needed. This dynamic scaling needs to be done while maintaining high level of reliability and security. Network access needs to be accessed across the internet from a broad range of devices such as PCs, laptops, and mobile devices using standard-based API. For example, one based on HTTP. Deployment of service in the cloud include everything from using business applications to the latest application on the newest smartphones. Managed metering means uses metering for managing and optimizing the service and to provide reporting and billing information. In this way, consumers are billed for service according to how much they are actually used during the billing period. In short, like cloud computing allow for sharing and scalable deployment of services as needed from almost any location and for which the customer can be billed based on the actual users. So, introduction to cloud computing like service model. Once the cloud is established, how its cloud computing services are deployed in terms of business models can differ depending on the requirements. So, primary service model being used in that is your software as a service, platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service. For what is the software as a service, and in short term, we generally call it as AAS. Okay, so first part is a consumer purchase the ability to access, use an application or service that is hosted in the cloud. A benchmark example of this is Salesforce.com, as discussed previously, where necessary information for the interaction between the consumer and the service is hosted as part of service in the cloud. Also, Microsoft has made a significant investment in this area and as a part of the cloud computing option for Microsoft Office 365, its Office Suite is available as a subscription through its cloud-based online services. And platform-based like PaaS, consumer purchase access to the platform, enabling them to deploy their own software and application in the cloud. The operating system and network access are not managed by the consumer, and there might be a contract constraint as to which application can be deployed. Example including Amazon Web Services and Rackspace and Microsoft Azure. Infrastructure as a service IaaS, consumer control and manage the system in terms of operating systems, applications, storage and network connectivity, but do not themselves control the cloud infrastructure. So also run are the various subset of these models that may be related to the particular industry or market. So communication as a service is one such subset model used to describe hosted IP telephony service. Along with the move to CaaS, that is communication as a service, to more IP-centric communications and more SIP turning deployment with IP and SIP in a place, it can be easy to have to PBX in the cloud and it is to have it on the promises. So in that context, CaaS could be seen as a subset of SaaS. Okay. So SaaS means your end user application is delivered as a service, platform and infrastructure is abstracted and can deployed and managed with less effort. Platform as a service like application platform onto which custom application and service can be deployed, can be built and developed more inexpensively, although services need to be supported and managed. Infrastructure as a service like physical infrastructure is abstracted to provide computing, storage, and networking as a service, avoiding the expense and need for dedicated system. Deployment model is your deploying things like private cloud, computing cloud, community cloud, public, and hybrid. Private means private the data. You are understanding by the name it. Like cloud infrastructure has been deployed and it's maintained and operated for a specific organization. So the operation may be in-house or with a third party on the premises. Community cloud means the cloud infrastructure is shared among a number of organizations with similar interests and requirements. This may help limit the capital expenditure costs for its establishment as the costs are shared among the organization. So the operation may be in a house or with a third party on the premises. Okay. Public cloud means publicly opened. Community cloud is a between private and public cloud. Okay. So public cloud is like available to the public on the commercial basis by cloud service provider, and this enable a consumer to develop and deploy a service in the cloud with very little financial outlay compared to the capital expenditure requirement normally associated with other deployment options. Hybrid cloud is consist of number of cloud of any type, but the cloud have the ability through their interface to allow data and application to be moved from one cloud to another. This can be combination of private and public cloud that support the requirement to retain some data in an organization and also the need to offer service in the cloud. Okay, so this is the part and introduction to cloud computing. This is the enterprise, like enterprise one, that is a private cloud in enterprise, and hybrid, like combining public internet and private and public cloud. Okay, and public internet means your cloud services, public cloud and enterprise too. Benefits of this cost saving, like companies can reduce their capital expenditure and use operational expenditure for increasing their computing capabilities. This is lower barrier to entry and also requires fewer in-house IT resources to provide system support. Scalability and flexibility means companies can start with a small development and deployment and grow to a large deployment fairly rapidly and then scale back if necessary. So also the flexibility of cloud computing allow companies to use extra resources at peak time, enabling them to satisfy consumer demands. Reliability, like services using multiple redundant sites can support business continuity and disaster recovery. Maintenance means cloud services provide to do the system maintenance and access in through APIs that do not require application installation onto PCs, those further reducing maintenance requirement. Mobile accessible, like mobile workers have increased productivity due to system accessible in an infrastructure available from anywhere. Challenges: security and privacy, perhaps two of more hot button issues surrounding cloud computing related to storing and securing data and monitoring the use of the cloud by the service provider. So these issues are generally attributed to slowing the deployment of cloud services. So these challenges can be addressed, for example, by storing the information internal to the organization, so but allowing it to be used in the clouds. For example, for this to occur through the security mechanism between organization and the cloud need to be robust, and hybrid cloud could support such as deployment. Lack of standard means cloud have documented interfaces, however no standard are associated with these, and those it unlikely that most cloud will be interpretable. So the Open Grid firm is developing an open cloud computing interface to resolve this issue, and the Open Cloud Contra, Consortium is working on cloud computing standard and practices. The finding the these group will need to mature, and but it is not known for whether they will address the need of the people deployment the service and specific interface these services are needed. Okay, so keeping up to date on latest standard and involve will allow them to leverage if applicable. Continuously evolving means user requirements are continuously evolving as are the requirements for interface, networking, and storage. So this means that cloud, especially a public one, does not remain static and it's continuously evolving. Compliance concern means the Sarbanes-Oxley Act is the US and Data Protection Directory in the EU are just two among many compliance issues affecting cloud computing based on the type of data and application. for which the cloud is being used. So EU has a legislative backing for data protection across the member states. But in the US, data protection is different and can vary from state to state. As with security and privacy mentioned previous, these types result in hybrid cloud deployment, with one cloud storing the data internal to the organization. Communication cloud, like for service developer, making service available in the cloud depends on the type of service and device being used to access it. So the process may be simple as a user clicking on the required web page, or cloud involve an application using an API accessing the service in the cloud. Introduction, like telecos are starting to use cloud to release their own service and those developed by others, but using teleco infrastructure and data. The expectation is that the teleco communication infrastructure provide a revenue generating opportunity. Using communication service, like when it's in the cloud, communication service can extend their capabilities or stand alone as a service offering or provide new interactivity capability to current service. Cloud-based communication service enable business to embed communication capabilities into business applications such as enterprise resource planning (ERP), and this is in the economic environment where we have to generally elaborating a lot of the thing related to marketing and related with the deployment service in that. So customer relation management, like CRM system for on the move business people. These can be accessed through a smartphone, supporting increased productivity while away from the office. So these services are over and above support of the services deployment of systems, so collaboration system and conferencing system for both voice and video. They can also access from any location and linked into current service to extend their capabilities as well as stand alone as a service offering. So in terms of social networking, using cloud-based communication provides click-to-call capabilities from social networking sites, access to instant messaging system and video communication, broadening the interlinking of people within the social circle. Accessing through web API. Accessing communication capabilities in cloud-based environment is achieving through APIs, primarily Web 2.3 RESTful APIs, allowing applications development outside the cloud to take advantage of the communication infrastructure within. So web infrastructure, that media and signing capabilities and cloud-based services are that. So these are the some these API open up range of communication possibilities for cloud-based services, only limited by the media and assigning the capability within the cloud. So today media service allow to communication and management of voice and video across the complex range of codec and transport type by using the web APIs. And these complexity can be simplified and the media can be delivered to the remote device more easily. API also enable communication of other service, providing new opportunities and help it to drive average revenue per user and attachment rate, especially for telecos. Media server control means like when building communication capabilities into core of the cloud, where they will be accessed by another service. The Web 2.0 APIs can be used as well as combination of SPI or voice XML and the standard media controlling APIs such as MSML, MSCML, and JSR 309. The combination provide different capability sets, but with Media City RL being developed in the Internet Engineering Task Force, like it is expected the Media City RL will supersede MSML and MSCML can have a upsurge in availability and more development offer after it rectified. Okay, so this is the thing about like how we can introduce this. So this is the application model and communication capabilities from within the cloud. Application server, media and signing, where application server control media server through media control APIs and Web 2.0. Whether so scalability, communication scalability means to deliver on the scalability requirements for cloud-based deployment. The communication software should be capable of running in virtual environments. This allows for easily increase and decrease session densities based on the needs at the time, while keeping the physical resource deployment on the server to the minimum. So this is the all about that how we have uh, mm, to learn the cloud-based thing, and mainly just focus on the what is the type, like that is a software as a service, platform as a service, and now last one your software and infrastructure as a service, and related some service deployment thing like what is a private hybrid community and public. These are main shows in this. And new thing is your communication capabilities that included in this chapter. So I hope you understood all the things, and this is very basic thing and theoretical, because a cloud computing is a theoretical and understanding. At once you will understand um, starting point. So after in further, that is a simplicity to understand all the concept at the same time, because same thing is going on, and only you have to understand the basic need. You can write your own notes also. There is no any complex